XFM.
Question from Kevin. He says, Carl, other than the famous boxing match that you've often talked about, I know that took up about 20 minutes of your time, have you ever been in any other kind of fight? I don't suppose a slanging match. I think they're talking, have you ever been in a physical fight?
Once that I can remember. It was over a woman. Well, a girl. I was at school.
Yeah.
And it was because, like, it's hassle, innit? Right, relationships when you're younger.
How old were you?
About 7.
It was over a woman.
Go on then. Yeah, go on.
And there was this girl knocking about who, you know, she was quite good looking, everybody liked. And my mate, he really liked her. And I didn't sort of ask her out on that, but she just sort of took a shine to me and stuff, right? And didn't really go out with her properly. It's at that age where going out with someone is just like sort of going, all right, in the morning, do you know what I mean? You just sort of nod your head.
Yeah.
And that. Anyway, there was some sort of school disco. And they were playing Spin the Bottle or something, right? And I sort of wandered over to see what was going on. And I stood on this girl's dress and put a hole in it. And she started crying. I was like, oh, I can't be doing with this, right? You know, what's up with you? It's old, what's up with you? And everyone's going, Carl, what are you doing? That's meant to be your girlfriend and that. You should be sort of saying, oh, I'm sorry, and giving her a hug and all that, and saying it'll be alright, we'll sort the dress out. I said, oh, I can't be dealing with this. Right? So she's crying her eyes out. I said, it's over, right?
Oh, it's over, you saying, right, in the morning. Yeah.
No more of that.
Yeah, there's no more. Right. In the morning.
So I go to the toilet, right? And this lad who fancies her comes in and goes, you're out of order, you know. I'm saying, what are you on about?
Sorry, there's 2 7-year-olds. Yeah, you're out of order. Keep out.
Yeah. Cut it out. Show her a bit of bloody respect.
Sorry, were you wearing trilbies?
Yeah. He put his cigarette out in the sink, and he just said, leave it.
Get out of my face.
So I just sort of said, look, why are you getting involved and all that?
Yeah.
2 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
Why are you getting involved?
And it was obviously like, because, you know, he fancied her and that. We had a bit of a fight in there.
Yeah.
I accidentally, you know, sort of chipped his tooth on a sink. Right?
Wow, is it like a proper...
Sorry, this is like someone from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? 2 7-year-olds in a toilet.
So you put a hole in her dress. I don't know how that happened. What were you wearing, football boots? How did you make a hole in her dress?
I don't know, it was like that sort of material.
You were wearing winkle pickers.
Like crepe, you know what I mean? It was like a crepe dress or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And that got a hole in it.
So you're having and when you say you're having a fight, I mean, are you wrestling with it? You got arm locks and
a little
head
bit of
locks?
wrestling and shoving about and that, and it was an accident. I didn't sort of go, right, I'm going to break your teeth or anything. It's just that I happened to push his head down, and his tooth hit the sink,
Right.
and it chipped and what have you. After that, like I sort of left there and stuff, and we had to go into assembly, and there was a copper in there doing some presentation saying, listen, kids, you know, don't get into trouble because we're out there and we'll get you. Right, so sort of trying to teach the kids young not to get into any trouble and stuff. So I'm sat in the assembly room thinking, oh God, there's a copper here talking, and like my mate's going to come in a minute, like with a chipped tooth and everything. And
Questions are going to get asked.
That's what kind of happened. I mean, the coppers didn't get involved.
Yeah.
Did you turn your back on violence after that then?
Yeah. He said, you'll never take me alive, copper.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the sort of last fight.
Brilliant.
XFM.
I had another email here. This is they haven't given their name actually, but it's an interesting fact. I'm hoping it's true. America's first nudist organisation apparently was founded in 1929 by 3 men. Now, what intrigued me when I read that is the fact that it's clearly 3 blokes just trying to meet some nude women.
They're all 52 balding.
Exactly.
With little, sort of those gold-rimmed glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just wandering around, and it's all quite saggy down there, and they're just knocking on doors saying, we've just set up an organisation, it's perfectly above board, completely legitimate, it's a nudist organisation. You got any women in there that want to come and join us? We've got any female members at the moment. Got any women in there interested in, you know, volleyball or trampoline?
I can't be doing with it, me.
You hate nudists, don't you?
Nudists. I don't understand what it's all about at the end of the day. And here's something, right? Do you know, like, when you're a bloke nudist, right? Do you ever get any who just have, like, a small knob?
I don't know. I don't understand the question.
What's that? What's your point?
Well, you know, are there any blokes who are knocking about who just have a normal sized knob, or maybe a bit smaller than normal, who are happy wandering about showing off what they haven't got, if you know what I mean?
I don't think nudists are just doing it because they're so proud of their knob.
No, but there's got to be a little bit of that in it, isn't there?
Why?
Say like, you know, Jonathan Ross, right? He's nipped to see you now and again and what have you.
He's what?
He sort of nipped in to see you now and again. He's always happy getting his knob out because he's known to have this big knob, right?
What do you mean he's
showing
known?
it off.
Why is Jonathan Ross known to have this big knob?
No, he just talks about it a lot, doesn't he? He's always saying about, oh, you know, but you'd like this, wouldn't you? And all
But that's
that.
like me. I'm known for being a great lover. I say it a lot. It's clearly not the case. What
Yeah,
evidence
but-
have you got that he's got a big?
No,
knob?
but the difference is he's happy to keep getting it out. It's different, sort of me walking about going, oh, I've got a big one and all that, and then but no one ever sees it. But Jonathan sort of he's always getting it out, isn't he?
Have you seen him get it out before?
I saw. Well, he did get it out, but I wasn't looking.
What do you mean you weren't looking? How do you know it was out?
Just because he sort of was moving it about and that, and I could sort of
So
see.
you-
No, I wasn't looking. No, it was that sort of thing where you can see something moving about, but you're like, I'm not looking at it.
What, like an owl seeing a mouse?
It
That,
just,
like.
what I mean, it doesn't matter. All I'm saying is,
So no, let's get back to this. You remembering vividly Jonathan Ross's penis?
no.
Yes.
What, I don't mean that. What I
But
mean,
why were you looking at his penis?
I wasn't looking though.
Well,
I'm
it was
just saying-
clearly not meant to be looked at.
I'm just saying, most blokes who, you know, nudists,
Hmm.
they must be pretty confident in themselves to, you know, getting it out. And I wasn't looking. It's just that, I mean, I looked once.
Okay, what was it like?
What? Sorry, you looked at Jonathan's once.
No,
or-
no,
Yeah.
I was looking at another one.
What?
At the same
why,
time?
No,
why
no.
are you looking at loads
No.
of men's
What's
penises?
going on? Where are you
Because
hanging
it's
out?
natural.
this?
It's natural. That's what I'm saying.
What do you mean? This
As
is
a bloke-
Carl takes a sneaky look at
No, no.
menscocks.com.
No, what I'm saying is, it's
Where
natural.
was this happening? You were in a gym.
No,
A lot of guys are getting changed, and you
No,
were just checking out their.
you're at your bedroom window with a pair of binoculars,
No.
and there was a little fella across the road
I
getting
was
changed.
at some night out once.
Go
right?
on.
So you were at heaven, and you were in the
It
toilet.
was some night out, and some people come running on the stage, right? Some music started coming on, and these 4 people ran out. It was 2 women.
So you were
2
at a gay
blokes.
strip club.
It wasn't gay in that. It was just a normal night out. Well, you know, some sort of party night out.
Right.
These people come running on, right? You got 2 women. You got 2 blokes.
Right.
They whip their knickers off. The fellas whip their undies off.
At the same
Now-
time?
Yeah, all at the same time.
Was it like,
that,
was it like a choreographed thing?
like what's it?
Chippendales.
No, what you know, like Cheryl Baker was in it. It was that thing where they sort of, you know, on the Eurovision Song Contest.
Making your mind up
Yeah.
when Bucks
Oh,
Fizz
Bucks
ripped
Fizz.
off a larger skirt, conceding a smaller skirt. At no point did Bucks Fizz whip their knickers and pants
When
off.
you said Cheryl Baker was in it, I was thinking, what? Didn't she used to host Record Breakers? I don't remember that on there.
so that-
Tea Time on BBC One.
So
Go on.
that happened, and all I'm saying is, right, before I had a look at the woman's bits, right, I just had a little cheeky glance at the fellas.
Why?
Why?
Just checking it out, just seeing is everything normal down
Why
there.
weren't your eyes drawn instantly to the ladies' bits?
No, don't believe me. I had a look at that. All I'm saying
But you went
is,
to the guys first.
I didn't know how long pants were going to be left off for.
So you didn't want to miss your opportunity, is what you're saying? You saw a window of opportunity to see some men's bits, and you thought, I better take it.
No,
because this may never happen again.
No,
So what happened? So there's
had a
2
look.
women, 2 men, right? I don't know what sort of event this is where you're looking at anyone get their knickers and pants off. I don't know why you're looking at all.
Good night,
So you go right. There's knickers and pants off. Right. Let's check out the knob and testicles first.
you're telling me you've never, like, when you've been in a gym or anything, you've not just sort of turned your head, had a look, and gone, all right, yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Been in a... Sorry, let's just get this question right. Have we ever been in a gym and just taken a sneaky glance at a man's genitals? Is that your question to us?
Right, for me, it's the same as when you see someone who's a bit odd, 2 heads or whatever.
Well, I'll be honest. If I was in a gym and a bloke came in with 2 heads, I'd look.
What?
I'd get a sneaky glance in the mirror. I'd go,
Sorry, but you'd look at his genitals or his 2 heads?
It's 2 heads.
Or would you you look at the heads and then think, I wonder if he's got 2 cocks? And just...
I'd have to have a look there. If I'll tell you what, and now I admit it, if I'm ever in a gym and a naked man with 2 heads walks in, I probably will check out the genitals as well, just to make sure that he's got 2 of everything.
Can I tell you the thing that always freaks me out? I do sometimes go to the gym, and I live in North London, and the thing that always freaks me out is if there's an elderly man, often quite short, and I say this only so you can picture something in your mind's eye, you know, because I live in North London. There's quite a lot of old elderly Jewish gentlemen, you know, wander around, and I'm always freaked out because there's at least two I'm aware of who've got very, very large penises. And I always find that really disturbing, because sometimes you can't help but notice, because it's like Godzilla coming through the changing room, do you know what I mean? And it's swinging there, and it never seems right that he's an old guy, you know, he's kind of a little overweight, quite short, and he's got a massive piece of action going on between his legs. And I always get, dare I say it, a little bit jealous. Because for a tall man, I feel I've been a little bit shortchanged.
Oh, wow.
So that, I do admit, that's the only instance where my eye has been naturally drawn to it.
Do you know what annoys me in gyms? Where people walk round happily naked all the time whistling. They get weighed naked, pop a towel on and take off 3 ounces.
How exact have those measurements got to be?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Pop a towel on. I mean, unless you're going on the space shuttle, I reckon you could give or take a couple of stone. Yeah,
exactly, yeah. Absolutely right. Well, we've put that to bed.
Well, it's that time. It's getting exciting. We've got Rockbusters results, but before that, a little bit of monkey news with... Oh! Chimpanzee that! Monkey news! Karl Pilkington.
Brilliant. Nice to have. I haven't read that for a couple of weeks.
Go on then.
Alright, so, got this little monkey.
Oh, yeah.
Who lives in Morocco.
Right, I'll just warn you now, you're on thin ice from last time, okay? So, make sure, is this real?
It's been
Don't say anything stupid, think about it. As you're saying it, think to yourself, oh, is that true? Do monkeys do that? Do they think like that? So, go on then.
So anyway, yeah, so there's this magician in Morocco, right? He's got a little monkey working with him, right? The way it used to work, magician used to do his thing on stage, do a little bit of magic, people loved it. Then the monkey came out, had a little cap, walked around the crowd and stuff, got the money, had a good little team thing going on, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, the monkey's name was 86.
Right.
Because back then there was so many monkeys, it was like, oh, what names, do you know what I mean, what names do you use, what do you do, so they just named them, right? So this little monkey...
What, he had 86 other monkeys? What?
No, it's just that because a lot of monkeys were sort of working back then, helping magicians out, you know, doing bits and pieces, busking, what have you.
Well, Rick, you know how there's so many...
Why would there be a confusion with that? If he only had one monkey, where's the confusion? People would go, oh, I'm not going to go and see that, I want to see 86, he's the better monkey. Do you know what I mean? What does it matter?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, why do they need... where was the confusion? With people going to the circus and going, what monkey are you going to go see tonight? I don't know. It wasn't a billing, was it, with a monkey?
But Rick, it's just the same with humans. You know, there's so many humans now that we can't give them names anymore.
Yeah,
they all have to have numbers.
Exactly, yeah, there's so many humans, you know, with 5 billion people, we can't give them names, it's impossible. But, you know, with a few monkeys
anyway, number
working...
122, go on.
So, anyway, there he is.
86.
86.
With his hat.
With his hat, walking around, getting the money.
Yeah.
Anyway, the magician sort of, you know, thinking about moving on. Because in Morocco, he'd sort of done all the tourist traps.
Sure.
So he had a word with the monkey, said, how about we,
See?
No, let him continue.
Think.
Let him continue.
He didn't have a word with the monkey.
Let him continue.
So what do you think about going over to Spain?
Yes. Sure. So, the monkey was in agreement?
So he said, alright, go on then. Right, so they get in the car, and, like, the magician knew he'd have a bit of a problem on his hands, because you're not meant to take monkeys out of the country.
Yeah.
Right? So he thought, right, what I'll do, I'll get a car, right?
Right.
Stick the monkey in a boot, right? Get on the boat, and hopefully sort of, you know, stick it in some luggage and what have you.
Yeah.
We'll be over there, we'll be earning big money, everything's gonna be great. So the monkey was like, brilliant. So, they get in the car, they're on the way to the boat, and pull over at a petrol station. And just before filling it up, he opens up the boot and he goes, "You all right in there?" And it's like, "Yeah, it's sound." So he leaves the boot open so it can breathe and get a bit of fresh air whilst it's filling up. Goes in to pay the money.
Yep.
Pays the money. Goes, "I'm just paying for the."
Right, this monkey is not going to drive away in that car, or we're never doing this feature again.
Carl, what happens? What's number 86 up to?
So 86. So
that's the ending, isn't it? That's the story.
Come on, let Carl finish the story.
It better not be.
Brilliant. You're gonna love it. Right, so he's in the petrol station, and he's going, right, I'll pay for pump 4. And the fella says, what are you talking about?
Pump 4, isn't that a monkey? No. Sometimes I use numbers for monkeys, sometimes I use... No, I mean pump 4.
Sure.
So he says, what are you talking about? There's no car at pump 4.
Right.
Keep going.
Sticks his head out of the door.
Yeah.
The monkey's giving it some.
went over to Spain on its own.
Steve, I don't know what to do.
Well, hang on, let's just get a couple of the facts right here.
What do you mean, couple of the facts? Right, there are no facts.
So,
It
number
didn't-
86.
it-
Number
number
86
86
he drove to Spain.
You are, honestly, Carl, you must know.
It was an automatic.
Right, Carl, you must know that is shit. There is no way a monkey...
Mad, innit? That's the thing with
He
his
gets
feature, though.
stopped at customs.
Mental.
How did he get through customs, Carl? He's got a passport.
No, he was sneaking about because he didn't have a passport.
So he parked and then snuck through.
Do you want the facts?
Let me see it. Right, I'll examine this, Rick, and we'll play a record.
Play a
and,
record,
I'll have a
because
look at
I
the
can't,
facts
that's nearly as bad as the armed robbery.
XFM.
They're just too convenient urban myths. Everyone you can tell an urban myth's not true because it's always this happened to a mate of mine, and when you say what happened then, they go, don't know, that was it. Was it? Was that it? Was it? Someone boiled a brain and that was it. There was no more story.
Well,
Were
there any dates, locations, times?
I think it was in Belgium.
There's that one that a bloke, right, was gonna get a phone call at 4 o'clock to find out if his business was, okay, right? And if he didn't get the phone call, he knew he was, broke, destitute. So, dead on 4 o'clock, the phone didn't ring, so he went up to the roof of his office and he jumped off to commit suicide. And as he was passing his window, the phone was ringing.
Oh, no.
Carl, it didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Think it through.
Think it through. Who told that story? Who told that story? As he hit the pavement at 120 miles an hour.
He's the only person who could have known that series of incidents.
Also, why didn't
And
he
he's
wait,
dead.
as his life's at stake, why didn't he wait till 5 past? Actually, I'm gonna give it 5 minutes, just in
Just in case the lines are busy.
Yeah. And what sort of bloke goes out, I'll call you at 4, okay, if your business, well, call me anyway. No. If I don't call exactly 4, then, no, you commit suicide. Commit suicide? I would, because if I don't call at 4, that's the end of it. Well, call me anyway. No, that's not the way I work. Why can't you just call me and tell me the other way? Well, I'm telling you how I do it. If you're bust, I don't call. Can't you just call to verify in case something goes wrong? What if it's engaged? It won't be engaged. Just commit suicide at 4, please. It didn't happen, Carl. The other one, right? A bloke, right? He's on a train station, and I'll tell you how I heard it. He's waiting for a cruise station, waiting for, and he shits himself. As you do. And so he goes, oh, my train's in 5 minutes, so he runs across to Millets, and goes, quick, Levi's, 36, the bloke just puts it in a bag, he runs onto the train, he goes into the toilet, takes his, trousers and pants off.
His soiled trousers
Yes,
and pants.
throws them out of the window, I won't be needing those again, cleans himself off, open the bags, it's a jacket!
Oh.
No, it didn't happen, Carl! At what point did he go into it and go, quick, Levi's 36, and the bloke went, sorry, Levi's 36, what, a pair? No, shall I wrap them? Them? It, shall I wrap? Just wrap whatever it is. Do you want to look? No, I'm not looking when you're putting it in the bag, please. Right? Well, 36 wife stories, well, don't say anything.
I've told you 36 Levi's. They put it in a bag and charged me for it.
Yeah.
I don't want to discuss it further.
Yeah.
There was one,
Here we go.
there was one about a woman whose husband died, and she had him cremated.
Yeah.
And made like a little egg timer out of him.
Right.
And she said, I did that so it can still help around the kitchen.
Well, that might be true. That might be a joke.
That's quite sweet.
That might be
That
true.
is true story, again. It was all
No, not
related-
again, because the ones I just told weren't. Nor is the boiling the brains in a bag curry microwave.
Head story, true.
Yeah. They're too convenient.
XFM.
But I've been reading a lot about, I like spiders and stuff, just reading about them. And there's one, right? It's got big legs.
Yeah.
Doesn't use them. It goes around, floating in the air, on a bit of webbage. Like a
He
kite.
just took a gamble then, didn't he? He took a gamble, he thought, do you know what, I'm gonna go with webbage. Don't know if it's a word, not sure, but I could just say web, and I'm gonna go with webbage, I'm gonna risk it. And it didn't pay off, did it?
Webbage! Webbage!
but that's how it gets about. It's in the air like a kite.
Yeah,
And it's just floating about.
I've seen one, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying about weirdness. The way all that goes on, and this is what I can't get my head round.
You have got your head round.
But do they get ill then?
He's just, for those listening at home, he has just bumped his head against the microphone.
Trying to mate with it because it's perfectly round, this microphone.
No, but when I was, like, this is what I'm saying, when I was in hospital and stuff, you do think about how others live, because insects don't have operations. Are they built better than us to survive in this world?
The trap you seem to fall into again and again and again is you cannot conceive of the fact that insects and animals do not have consciousness and personality and communication. They do not function in the way that humans do. You've seen so many Disney cartoons, you believe them now to have a life and wear bowler hats and go to work. But just in the same way that the cavemen didn't have Flintstone type cars and have a little house,
But
you
then-
can't seem to understand that animals don't work in that way.
But what I mean is, you're saying that no animals or insects know anything, yet when you see them things on nature programs where a load of ants are having a walk, there's always one at the front who's leading it all. So one of
Well, you
them's
just
got to
happen to
know
be
something.
first. Or there are leaders in.
Yeah, but the other ants are going follow him.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not vocalising that in any sense
No,
that
they're
you
not saying
understand
follow
it.
him, but they sort of look as if to sort of say, "I'm
but
going
without,
this way."
Without cognitive
speaking.
reasoning.
It's not made a conscious decision to act in that way.
Yeah, but this is when you
If a bird, if a raindrop falls on a bird's beak and it moves away because instinctively it's hardwired to be wary of things which drop on its beak in case it's dangerous. It's not thinking, "Oh crumbs, I better get out of the way." It just does it because it's somehow hardwired into it to act that way. But it doesn't stop for a moment and think. Which we don't really, except we then are able to rationalise our fears and our actions.
Well, I've been watching birds more than insects recently.
Oh, okay, you've moved on from
in the
insects.
last week, just because I've sort of looked at the ant and the bee and that. And what I've found with pigeons is they've got wings, yet they walk a lot.
I'd love that to be a thesis where he got like a £500,000 grant from a university, and I said, "Well, Pilkington he's done ants and he's done bees. He's followed ants. Apparently, they're not doing anything. Some of them are lazy. We are granting him another £500,000. He's been working on it for a year. Please welcome Karl Pilkington."
Carl, what have you found?
Well, even though pigeons have wings, they walk a lot.
No, but even in times of danger, one was crossing the road and a car was coming, and you'd think that its head would say, "Let's start flying." Yet he just walked faster.
Well,
What's he doing?
it was doing stuff, wasn't it? It saved a bit of energy. Takes a lot to take off, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's either that or you're going to get crushed.
But it
Use the
didn't
energy.
get crushed, did it?
No, I don't think it did. No.
There you go. They knew what he was doing, didn't it?
Yeah, it just annoyed me. That's all. It's got a power, and it's not.
Power. They're all superpowered. These animals.
But that's why he thinks of the stick insect as like that. You mentioned earlier that's its power, that's its skill. Like Spider-Man was bitten by a radioactive spider, and now he can solve crimes and swing with webs with webbage, using his webbage. Whereas, yeah, stick insects it's not a superpower.
XFM.
But we did the Pirates of Penzance when I was in an amateur dramatic society in Bristol, the Bristol Operatic Society, Light Operatic Society. I don't know why I was involved, because I can't sing. My audition, I thought, this is how desperate they were for blokes. I swear to God, right, I can't sing, you know.
Well, you?
Yeah, alright, calm down. And, I went in and they said, "What are you gonna sing?" I went, well, I want to surprise you. They said, "Do you want a piano accompaniment?" I said, "No, I don't think so." I went to the back, I swear to God, I went to the back of the room and I just sang, "Thumbelina, Thumbelina, tiny little thing. Thumbelina dance, Thumbelina sing. Thumbelina, what's the difference if you're very small? 'Cause when your heart is full of love, you're 6 feet tall." I just did that. And they just looked at me like I was the weirdest freak they'd ever had. Immediately put me in the chorus, because that was how desperate they were for blokes. We rehearsed it. I couldn't remember the lyrics.
Thank God you were doing Thumbelina.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
dear.
I couldn't remember the lyrics.
What was it for? Was it Gilbert and Sullivan?
It was the Pirates of Penzance.
Oh.
There weren't enough blokes, right, so that we had to double up. So some of the pirates had to double up as the policemen who were chasing the pirates. A little bit problematic in the scene when the policemen and the pirates have a fight. That was a little bit tricky. And the worst things, there's this sequence where, like, the daughters of the Major General, all kind of like, oh, beautiful, something like, you know, oh, beautiful little girls are we, la 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 la. And the women they must have all been over 40. I mean, real kind of toothless crones, creeping around in their 90s.
Is it the sort of women that buy one of those sort of porcelain dolls?
Exactly.
From the TV and go,
Yeah.
look, I've had a baby. It's not a real baby. It is a real baby. I'm gonna stab you.
Yeah.
One of those.
Exactly. It's the sort of women that you'd see maybe on TV's Bargain Hunt. You know, the kind of contestants you get on there. Those are women who sort of very nam-dram and they think they've clung on to their looks, but they'd have never made it in the guy who was playing there's a guy who's supposed to be an 18-year-old prince, an 18-year-old pirate, the Pirate King. He must have been 40 if he was a day. He also directed the show though, so he got to prance around in these thigh-high boots. Ludicrous. It was so embarrassing. It was shameful, really.
I'd love to go to Amdram.
Amdram is a whole other world. It's such an incredible place. Because there's so much backbiting and envy and...
Really?
Oh, it's incredible. It's worse than the real world of theatre and TV. It's unbelievable. Because the same old people get to do it every year because they can hold a note.
Can we go along?
You would absolutely adore it, Gervais.
So anyway, as I say, my mother saves various clippings and things which may be of interest. This was recently in the Daily Mail, in one of those kind of gossip columns. Ricky Gervais's cringe-worthy dance routine as managerial buffoon David Brent was undoubtedly the highlight of BBC comedy The Office. Perhaps credit for the scene should not go to Gervais, however, but his lanky co-writer Stephen Merchant. For I hear that 6'7" Merchant has been attracting a great deal of female attention at the so-and-so pub in North London, until he took to the dance floor with Brent-esque results. Says my mole, most of the feminine throng looked away in embarrassment. Putting it kindly, he was rather ungainly, like a giant albatross hopping on stilts. Right, now then. I'll take issue with this, because firstly...
You wouldn't be attracting female attention in the first place.
Rick, if I had been, I'd have phoned the Mail myself. Point A... Right, I seem to remember distinctly I was talking to one of my mates the whole night and we were discussing about the fact we were too shy to talk to girls. So wrong there. Yeah. Point 2, as you well know, if I take to the dance floor, which on this occasion I didn't, I remember distinctly not because I love to dance, I would not have been described as a giant albatross hopping on stilts because Carl has seen me dance, you've seen me dance, you know I'm a good mover.
Yeah.
Just in the same way that people can't quite understand how Peter Crouch, the same height as me, is able to be so brilliant on the football field.
Yeah.
The same people look at me when I'm dancing, they go, I don't know how that big guy is able to bust some of those kind of moves.
Yeah.
I've won 2 dance contests in my life. Those facts, those stats speak for themselves, Rick.
I know.
I mean, you've seen me dancing, how would you describe me?
I think that you look like isn't an albatross, isn't it? So, you look like, an upright lizard, right, being given electroshock treatment. And I think that's a lot fairer, isn't it, than the albatross nonsense?
Well, so I'm just trying to picture that, because again, was that a compliment? You were on my side, right? You were defending me there.
A cross between a giant lizard and a stick insect.
Again, because they don't sound, straight away they don't sound like compliments, but I'm assuming you're on my side here.
Stick insect with funny glasses? Is that?
Again, I thought, I was thinking you were perhaps being a bit touch more supportive, but you've not really... Carl, you've seen me dance, what are your views?
It's just like a bit of weird art.
That's brilliant! That is brilliant! That's so much better than albatross!
It's like, you don't see. It got me thinking about things you don't see. And you don't see.
Did you put this into a computer? Show me things you don't see.
What else don't you see?
Well, you don't see, like, an old man having a Twix. You never... So what?
You know the terrible thing about all this, Steve, is he's right. You don't see an old man eating a Twix. That's a terrible thing.
So what they have got, right, they've made old man toffees, haven't they? They've come up with Werther's.
Is that a song? Oh God! You don't see it.
No, listen now. So they've got their Werther's, right?
Yeah.
So
Look at him! You you
Forget
think you're
it.
giving a lecture at Oxford?
It's not going anywhere.
No,
you
go
know?
on, sorry. Go on.
I'm
What?
just saying,
Right.
you grow out of things.
Yeah.
And the old man, I'm sure when he was a kid, he'd have a Twix.
Yeah.
But now it doesn't look right, so he's having...
It doesn't look right!
So...
Right.
I don't think Werther's originals were specially designed for old people. I think they were sweets that just happened to have been made for years. That's why old people eat them.
Yeah.
They didn't go, hang on, there's a market here. I've noticed old people aren't eating Twixes. Quick, let's make some old man sweets.
But the little advert, he gives it to his grandson as well, doesn't he? He goes, I have a Werther's original.
Now, I think it cuts though before he throws it back in his face and goes, get me a Twix. And a damn curly-whirly, Grandad, you old fool.
Think of computers.
What about them?
Well, I mean, that's in the last few years, you know, in 100 years in our existence. Okay, they've been dabbling with anything even close to a computer. Nothing before that.
Yeah, computers are a good thing, and it baffles me as to how they came about. When you think a computer chip is just made out of sand. Now, for someone to come up with that, you go, there must have been some sort of alien involved here.
What do you mean? Why do you think that? So I love it. So the frisbee, rubbish. Anything too clever? Well, it wasn't an invention, it was an alien. So there's nothing between frisbee and computer chip.
What I'm saying is, it's not even an idea, is it?
What do you mean?
A computer chip, where's that come from?
Oh, it's amazing.
Well,
it's astounding, yeah.
So you think it was an alien? What are you talking about?
Great.
Because I can't believe that someone would go, right, I want to make something that will hold information and be able to do, I don't know, let's use some sand, we've got loads of that. You'd go, what, you don't...
Well, that's what genius is, though,
But
isn't
Carl,
it?
there's no alien involved.
No, but when I say alien, I don't mean an alien came down here and said, you know, oh, do you want to buy this? There could have been
Yeah.
a spaceship crash, right?
Right, yeah.
And there's all them rumours, isn't there, in that hangar. They've got the spaceship, they take it apart, they go, yeah, wheels, we've got them, yeah, steering wheel, and then they go, hang on, what's this here? And they find the chips, and they break it down, and they find
Carl,
a sand.
but that as an explanation to human genius is nearly as ridiculous as the Adam and Eve explaining life on Earth. How could you tell that to someone without going red? I mean, I always worry about that, where people who believe in Adam and Eve, don't they wish there was a slightly better explanation? With all the evidence we've got, do you know what I mean? With all the evidence for evolution, that they think the Earth is 5,000 years old, and God made Adam out of some dust, and then he went, oh, I need a bird. It's alright, I'll make it out of your rib.
Yeah,
right?
but there's loads of things that you go, oh, this is a bit embarrassing. I bet Charles Darwin, when he said we've all come from apes, I bet he sat at home going, should I tell him about the frisbee first?
But the fact that sand makes computer chips is not the interesting thing. The interesting thing is how the human being discovered that, what am I talking about, sand makes computer chips, that silicon can have information put on it. But we're made out of oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, do you know what I mean? And hydrogen.
Yeah, but that's nature. You see, nature is amazing. You can't beat nature. Right?
No.
It comes up with some amazing things.
Yeah, but man is nature. Don't forget that we're an animal. We're a brilliant ape. Now, it's clear to any sensible, reasonable, educated person that we did evolve from apes, or rather, we had a common ancestry, and that we're closest to the chimpanzee. We're actually 98.6% genetically identical to a chimpanzee, Carl. We're closer to a chimp than a chimp is to a gorilla. Genetically speaking.
I just find that hard to believe when you
Well,
look
I'm telling you it's true, so
No,
what are you finding hard to believe?
Well, your eyes, your own eyes are what sort of comes up with a lot of thoughts.
No. One's eyes don't come up with thoughts.
No,
Two,
but what I'm saying is,
what you mean is
through your own eyes,
you look at things
you
and
judge.
make up your own
So
decisions.
if there was no Darwin or anything, and I was sat somewhere and someone said, right, we're going to bring a few animals in, one of them's related.
Right. They're all related.
Alright, but they're all related to you, but one's not so long ago, right? And they brought them in, and they lined them up, and there was a chimp stood there, and a gorilla, and what's another one? Orangutan. Right, yeah. Right, I go, the orangutan, send that out. Got me first to go, so he's definitely not linked to me.
See, I disagree, but there we go. That's just looking at you.
Anyway, so the hair colouring, there's none of that in our family.
Well, there's no air.
I like the fact that it loses out because it's ginger.
So that's gone. Right, so I'm left with a gorilla and a chimp.
Yeah.
I would go for the gorilla.
Well, it's a
The
good guess,
humanness.
but you'd be wrong. So we are much closer to the chimpanzee, okay? 98.6% genetically identical. Think of that. We only differ on 1.4% of our genetic makeup.
That must be the arse. Because that's a lot different.
Animal rights is a hot topic.
It's a big issue.
What rights should they have? How do they compare to humans? You know, it's a well-known fact that we test on animals with the assumption that humans are more important. We test drugs on animals, and we're basically saying if they die, they die. We'll learn something from them. People do make distinctions between animals, right? They know that it's probably more acceptable to kill an ant than
Punch a cow.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I think that comes again from how close are they to humans? Have they got a face?
But that's
are they furry?
I told you, didn't I, about my dad's mate who had a monkey and he had to thump it.
What? Well, there's two things there. One, why did he have a monkey? Two, what sort of discipline is thumping a monkey? What was the monkey doing?
He was annoying his wife a lot and sort of, you know, pinching her arse and stuff like that.
Right,
No,
right.
that's
Wait a
not
minute.
true.
We've
It's not
never
true.
heard this before. How have we had all these years
No,
of
I'm sure I
monkeys?
told
We've
you
never
about
heard
it
this
ages
before.
ago.
Your dad had a mate who had a monkey.
Yeah, I'm sure I told you.
Why did he have a monkey? Just for a laugh?
Well, it was back in the day when people did. They all had like odd sort of pets, and
When?
that, didn't they? In like about 68.
Oh,
In
1968,
1968.
when everyone had a monkey.
But he had to thump it. Now the weird thing is,
No, that's weird enough.
Is this all the story? This is the entire story.
No.
You've got all the information you've got is he had a monkey and he had to thump it.
yeah, my dad told me about it when he found out that I was into monkeys. He said, "Oh, Benny thumped one," and
Benny, that's right. Oh, my son's into natural history, particularly simian variety. I've got an interesting fact for you, Carl. Sit down. What is it, Peter? Benny thumped one. Brilliant.
But what was interesting is the way that people are thumping other people all the time. No one bats an eyelid. Thump a monkey. People go, "You thumped a monkey."
Yes, they do. They do go. You thumped a monkey.
So that's what's weird, isn't it?
What, this chimp doesn't want to be caged and kept in a fucking council house in
No,
Manchester.
it was quite happy. And if
It
it wants to
wasn't
live like a
happy.
human, I mean, in the 70s, you know, there were all the teabag adverts and all that, and they were loving that.
No, they
Then
weren't
people
loving it.
interfere, people go, "That's unfair." Now
They-
they're in like a cage in a zoo. You're going, "It was better when I was pushing a piano up the stairs."
They weren't really.
They weren't actual delivery men.
They weren't really sitting down and having a cup of tea.
It wasn't a documentary. A week in the life of the monkey delivery men.
I love that. Chimps in a zoo now going. Okay, now at least we were free.
Remember when we used to drive a van?
And
for a
we're,
living?
and we're on 58 quid a week.
Yeah.
They're not meant to be kept in a house in Manchester. It's cruel to keep a person in a house in Manchester, so it's fucking cruel to keep a monkey.
Are you aware, Carl, that 99% of all forms of life that have existed on Earth are now extinct?
So there's only 1% of everything that's ever been still alive.
Yeah.
But that's just as well, isn't it?
Why?
Well, I think it's pretty crowded now. So it's just as well. You see, this is what I'm saying now. Years ago, they accepted that. Cavemen wouldn't have been going, "Oh, we're losing stuff's dying." Whereas now, everyone's, "Oh, the panda, polar bears, not got any ice," and all that. At the end of the day, the world's only so big, we know it's not getting any bigger. Right? Stuff's got to die, hasn't it? You can't keep everything.
Just think of that, though, as a tool of natural selection, that the species that are surviving today are 1%. Just how amazing that is to survive and evolve. How perfect everything is on Earth. It's amazing.
No, but it'll drop off again, won't it? As we find in new stuff, other stuff will be dying.
Well,
In
things
that
happen.
1%, when that was written, when that statement was made, was the dodo gone or was it still here?
It was.
I'm pretty
it
certain
was
the
gone.
dodo was gone.
It was gone already.
It doesn't matter, though, does it? A percentage is a percentage.
Yeah, the dodo went. The last dodo died. They said
Yeah.
that was the last dodo. No
Yeah.
more dodos. But we found
A
this.
dido. Still making great
Great
tunes.
albums.
But,
Although
yeah, we lost the Dodo, but we've got Dido.
a recent album's not sold very well, actually.
I've heard it's
Dying
doo-doo.
out. Dying out. Everything has a lifespan.
Dido's dying out.
But and I think that's life. So it's not amazing, really.
That's
that
not on
this-
either anymore.
No, that's not over. That's life's gone.
That's gone.
That was good.
What else?
Esther Ranson forced to just die out in the jungle. now.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
When I went to Natural History Museum, there was a thing called a cider ear or something. Right, died out ages ago. No one knows about them, which is weird because everyone knows about the dodo.
Well,
Yeah.
that's because it died out in, I think, was it 18th century or something, wasn't it?
Well, you know, within what might term recent history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this thing's sort of. I don't think it was far behind it. It's just timing, isn't it? Got more press, the dodo. The cider ear, or whatever it's called. It was a big thing. It was
Well,
a cross.
you've seen it, and you still don't know what it's called.
Well, it's spelled awkwardly. But it's but they said it was a cross between a moose and a giraffe. Now we don't need that, do we? At no point have we said, do you know what we need here to get us through this?
Well, that's funny because when they first named the giraffe, they called it the camelopard because they thought it was a cross between a camel and a leopard.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that when zoologists examined a platypus for the first time, some of them thought it might have been a hoax, because they thought it could have been different parts of different animals sewn together. Because the platypus has the fur of an otter, the tail of a beaver, the bill and feet of a duck, and the venomous spurs of a fighting gamecock. So they assumed that it
It's
must
like a
have been a
scrap
hoax.
heap challenge of animals.
Yeah, I remember, right?
But
We
they
don't-
actually.
Sorry, go on,
say,
sorry.
well, just to clarify that, it actually is descended from a link between reptiles and mammals almost 150 million years ago, a sort of living fossil.
When I was about 13, 14, I once tried to improve the animal kingdom by making the hardest animal ever, the most perfect animal.
Now, just to clarify, you didn't, in sort of Frankenstein style,
No.
try and bolt various bits of animals together.
It was a drawing that I sent to Blue Peter. There was no competition going on.
You just thought they would be appreciated.
I thought they'd look at that and they'd go, well, he's a genius.
Yeah.
This is like Da Vinci.
Sure.
And this is the animal. This is what I thought, the perfect animal. I mean, when I say perfect, I meant the hardest animal. This animal, it could take anything. It was just the strongest, hardest, fastest. Right.
Yeah.
So, I started with the head of a lion.
Of course, that makes
Do you know what I mean?
perfect sense.
Roar, it looks good. Roar, bite you, right? Okay. I popped that on the body of a rhinoceros.
Okay, so it's got the toughness, the armour, if you like.
It's full strength. Head of a lion. Think of that. So you've got this picture. Head of a lion, body of a rhino.
Perfect.
Okay? Hold on, though. Pop some arms on it. The front arms were the arms of a gorilla.
The arms of a gorilla.
So it
okay.
could punch, grip, it could make stuff. The lion, I mean, that's where the lion falls down, because it can't make stuff.
Sure.
It can't climb, you know. So, okay then, wait a minute. You think that's got enough weaponry?
Sounds like it.
No. Pop on the tail of a giant scorpion.
A giant scorpion?
Yeah, yeah.
So a
the
scorpion that's the
so
size
it's
of a rhinoceros.
exactly. So the tail was as long as that lion. So now this is a scary animal,
Yeah.
and this is where the animal fell down. I thought, right, legs. Well, the fastest animal is the cheetah.
Cheetah.
Popped on 4 cheetah legs.
4 cheetah legs.
It would have collapsed.
Crushed under
It
the
would have
weight of the
collapsed
rhinoceros.
immediately. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you drew this, did you?
drew it. Yeah.
Did you show it to anyone
Yeah,
other
my
than
mates went, "That's brilliant."
Right.
They said, "That's brilliant."
And then just sent straight to Blue Peter.
Yeah.
Any reply?
No reply at all.
Really?
No reply at all.
Surprised.
What do you think of that, Carl? What would you? How would you? Though? What would if you wanted to make the ultimate fighting animal? What would you come up with? If you had the power, like that fella in Arabian Nights, size of a chimpanzee, you could change into anything, but you could change into, you know, like that.
I don't
But
think I'd go for strength and that. I'd go for survival.
What would you do? Cockroach.
No, I'd have like an armadillo's body.
Right. Okay. So that's as big as you can be now. Then. So you know you can't really pop on a lion's head because it'd just lay there going, "I can't fucking move."
All right. I'd have head of an owl.
Right.
The head of an owl?
Yeah. Why? Come on. Why? What does that bring to the table?
The head's there to sort of make it look friendly to the
make it look
human
friendly.
race. So
Okay.
because if you look half decent to the human race, they'll look after you.
Right.
That's the way it works.
Yeah.
With
Okay.
a cat and a dog and all that.
Okay.
So the owl makes it look nice.
Right.
I'd have. I wouldn't have legs. I'd go for like the slug juice.
What do you mean? So now you're a really slow-moving, legless armadillo with the head of an owl.
Slithering along. How is that going to be friendly? They'll see the beautiful face, but then they'll be terrified by the sludge.
No, because the head's that nice that they'll forgo the sludge.
But hold on though. But wait a minute. So it's got this thing that's stuck, right, going at 0.1 miles an hour, with a going hoo, right? You come over, you kick the head off. How is this?
No, because the head can go into the thing like a tortoise.
Can it?
Yeah, of course it can. Into the armadillo body.
Well, no, an armadillo doesn't do that. It just curls up into a ball.
This isn't an armadillo, is it?
So it's.
Why has it got the slug? Why
Because
is that so
what
attractive?
what I'm thinking is an armadillo. They're good when they're on their feet. Flip them, they get stuck like a tortoise.
Right.
Slug stuff keeps it down. So if anything attacks it, it's like a limpet or one of them things that can.
Why
lock
have a
the stuff.
limpet then?
But it can't get any. How it can barely move. It can
Just
hardly
go and
get
just go
anywhere.
and kick it.
What do you mean it can't get
Well, how
anywhere?
can it escape from danger? It's going to move
rubbish.
very slowly.
No, because
That's the worst
lock
animal.
itself in. It'll lock itself in.
Yeah, and then I just scoop it up on the
You
sand.
can't scoop it up. It locks itself in if it's in danger. I'd give it peacock feathers.
This is the worst animal
Why has it got peacock feathers?
Again, it's just
It's the worst animal I've ever heard.
Why has it got peacock feathers?
threatening. It looks more threatening.
That's the
feathers do.
least threatening thing, peacock feathers. It's like Danny LaRue coming at you. There's
Yeah.
nothing remotely scary about peacock
Yeah,
feathers.
to humans.
Yeah.
But the humans won't be harming it because they like the owl head. People will like to have these things in the garden. They eat lettuce.
They eat lettuce! They eat Why has it got a beak? They eat lettuce. He's telling them what it's going to eat now. The owl's going, fuck that, I want a mouse. I love the fact that he's based what it eats on the fact that how it moves a bit like a slug.
Yes,
Let it eat lettuce. It moves that, and let it eat lettuce.
Like I said, it's not that weird if that existed. If that was normal, like when you went out to empty your bin, there was one of them sliding up the wall. you wouldn't even double take. It'd just be like, oh, there's the owl head peacock feathered thing.
I don't know why it's climbing walls in an effort to find lettuce.
Yeah, why is it climbing up that wall?
Because that's the only way it can see properly. Because its head's coming out like that.
So even though you've designed this animal, now you're even explaining its
got problems.
limitations.
Well,
No,
it's
got a
mainly
problem.
made as to be on walls. Because what else is living on walls?
Oh, God! Oh, fucking hell! What a useless animal that is! Carl, I mean.
But nature chucks up odd things, doesn't it?
Don't. Why are we starting on this again?
No, I'm just saying that is nature. Now and again, you'll get stuff that.
Oh, was he looking at you?
Yeah.
Was he really?
Look at his fucking head. Look at his stupid round fucking orangey head and
Why aren't you a freak? You've got a little bald head. We're not meant to be bald.
Well, I was. I think that's the thing. That's what nature's done. You see, I didn't do anything with my hair when I had hair. I didn't style it, I didn't do anything with it, and it probably thought, what am I doing here? Whereas people who love their hair, and they comb it and have different styles and look after it, they have hair for ages.
Nonsense.
No, nonsense, absolute
Well,
nonsense.
well, you're saying that.
Absolute
Well,
nonsense.
it's a little bit weird then, isn't it? And that's what happens with old people, once they lose their, will to live, once they lose the job, they get old. What's my purpose? What am I doing here? And it's like nature goes, you're not needed, and they die. Maybe that's what happened with the dodo. What's it doing? It can't fly, its wings are useless. Eat it, tastes horrible, kill it.
No, they did eat
Nature.
it. I think they did eat
Yeah,
it.
but it wasn't very nice, was it?
I think they over-farmed it. I think that's why it was extinct. Because they did eat it.
No, but they did eat it, but they didn't like it. Everybody, you never saw like a fully eaten carcass of a dodo.
You're
It'd always
making this
be
up
half
again.
eaten.
All conjecture.
No, but they didn't eat it all. Everybody would probably try it and go, it's not for me, that.
But you don't know
No
this.
idea,
You
you're
don't
just
know
making
this.
it up.
What's this based on?
I've
That
just-
people... And also, why would that kid it out?
Because I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because if it's not nice, people don't get another one in. And they die out. The reason we've got loads of chickens and loads of cows is because we eat them. If we ate polar bears, we wouldn't be short of them. Because you'd farm it, you'd take more care, but what's a polar bear doing? Sat on a block of ice floating about. It's no use to us, is it? It sounds harsh.
once
it's
again
no
got
use.
his information from a Glacier Mint
No,
advert.
but it's no use to us. We know they're there, and it's all very sad when you see them on the news sort of struggling and all that.
Yeah.
But it's going to make them stronger.
If scientists could bring back to life the creatures that have existed in the past, do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
Bad idea.
Bad idea?
Yeah.
Now, leaving aside the horrors of Jurassic Park, do you think, for research purposes, it might be a useful idea?
I don't think it is. For me, it's like a Friends reunited. It's like people who you knew ages ago getting back in touch, and you go, I don't want to get in touch with you. That was then, and it's the same with a mammoth. That was then. You had your day. It didn't work out. Now to bring it back, it's unfair. You're messing with nature anyway. I think I've said to you before about I don't know what they do with them. They're massive things. I think it's like they're just not thinking about it. It's like rushing into buying furniture that's massive, and then you get it back and you can't get it through the door.
No,
And it'll be like that with a mammoth. Where are you putting them? Oh, I didn't think of that.
But what about if you could say you could feed the third world with mammoth meat?
But what's wrong with we've got loads of cows and stuff. Why do they need a mammoth? No one even knows what it tastes like. Imagine that. You bring it back and you've got another dodo on your hands. People go, this is horrible.
Well, they used to eat them because they, again, what humans found out is they could take down a mammoth, but they got greedy and they found out they could chase them, and so they'd go over an edge of a cliff. And what they did, they went crazy and they used to herd them and they'd all die, but of course then they'd waste the meat because they couldn't eat it all.
Yeah. Well, that's I think that's why we shouldn't bring them back, because they are too big. So even if
Didn't hear a word of what you said then, didn't hear a word.
No, I did. Everyone can eat them, but the problem is they're so big that you couldn't eat it quick enough, so it all went off.
Yeah, but I was saying that they killed too many at once.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't know what you're talking about.
I heard that. But what I'm saying is, why not bring back an animal that's smaller, manageable for everyone?
Yeah.
That's why the chicken is perfect. Out of all the animals, perfect. Good size, feeds a family of 4. Whilst it's alive, it's giving you eggs.
I agree.
So it tastes nice.
But it doesn't if you think it's not having a good life. If suddenly said to me, I stopped eating it because I found out about how badly they were treated like 10 years ago, and at least I have organic. And honestly, eating an animal that's been tortured doesn't taste nice. Foie gras would make me vomit. The thought of it, the evil involved in torturing a goose because the liver tastes slightly better. I mean, where does it end?
I think if they're looked after, they don't want to die. The ones in a nice warm little, hut, being fed lovely food, you're going, right, we're going to cut your head off, and they're probably like, oh God, I'm going to miss this, I'm loving this life. Whereas the one sat in its own shit's going, have me first, I'm sick of it. There's different ways of looking at it.
Good point. So what you're saying is, give animals a bad life, torture them, and they'll be happy when you eat them. Brilliant.
But we've ordered we've ordered a turkey.
Right.
It's way too big. So I don't know what we're going to do with it. And it's worrying me now, actually. It'll be nice on Christmas Day, but it's my job to look after the kitchen and everything, tidy up. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it all.
The fact that he's been given a job to make him worthwhile, really, it's like a little home.
No, but a chicken, your chicken...
Arthur, you're washing up today, aren't you? Yeah, Arthur's job.
And that's the problem with a mammoth. I think the idea of it's probably quite pleasant. You go, oh, that's something new to try out. But afterwards, when you got to tidy it up and stick it in cling film, you'll be going, how much of this have we got? So I wouldn't bring back the mammoth.
Brilliant.
Charles Darwin, of course, once said, I cannot persuade myself that a beneficent and omnipotent God would have created parasitic wasps with the express intention of their feeding within the living bodies of caterpillars. His point being that, creatures and their reproductive cycles are so complicated, so intricate, so bizarre, that alone is proof of the non-existence of God. Where do you stand on that?
It's pretty weird. We talked about it ages ago, didn't we, about the wasp that has a thing growing in it and all that.
Lays its egg in a spider.
Yeah, and then the spider goes mad, doesn't it?
That's what you fucking can't lay your eggs at me, you fucking stripy wanker. Goes absolutely fucking mad.
It is weird.
What's going up my arse in a couple of you fucking...
I don't know how it found out that that's what it had to do. That's the amazing thing, isn't it?
Well, it didn't, did it?
It just did it.
No, I know, but when I say found out, I mean it just did it.
Well, it's like mimicry, when they say mimicry, that there's a poisonous snake, and then a snake comes along that looks a bit like it that's not poisonous, but people go, oh, careful, it's poisonous. That snake didn't go, I'm gonna strain, and I'm gonna try and look like scary over there. Some were born, that looked a bit like scary, and they survived.
Yeah, I know.
It's just being chosen.
But that's changing now, isn't it? The fact that, like, when them frogs came out that are dangerous, they were just dangerous.
What frogs came out? But
There's some frogs in a jungle somewhere that were, like, pretty dangerous.
New from Mattel, dangerous frogs in the jungle.
yeah,
But people didn't know that they were dangerous. And they were going about killing loads of stuff. Anyway,
they weren't going. No, they don't go around killing loads of stuff.
nature said, this is a bit unfair. Make them orange. So then, the frogs that were orange were dangerous, but you got a warning. It's a bit more fair. Nature said, if they're going to go about being dangerous, make them orange, make them stand out. In a jungle, orange stands out in all the green, right? So people went, there's an orange frog, stay away. Then, over time, nature went, right, what's happened here now? Everyone knows the orange frog's dangerous. Birds aren't eating it because they know it's dangerous. People are avoiding it. They don't even need the poison, it's just the orange it needs. So now you've got a load of frogs that are orange, not even deadly, but people go, is that a deadly orange one, or is it a friendly one? Well, best to leave it.
Again, it's explained my point, but took 30 times as long over.
But
it.
also,
No, but
in his
listen,
head-
let me finish what I was going to say. But what's interesting with all that is, evolution has taught stuff to lie. Because that orange frog isn't deadly, it's going about like it's the big I am.
Yeah.
You could squash it with your hand, you can't do anything. But evolution
He's swaggering around.
it's made it lie. So lying is part of evolution.
But it's not lying, is it?
What do you mean?
Wow.
It's got no
But the
poison.
interesting thing about, like a toad that secretes a poison is that often it's no good for it as an individual, but it's good for the species as a whole, because some that come along and chew it. Now that toad might well die, but that fox is sick and it doesn't eat another one. So it's sort of saving the species.
Yeah, but at the same time, the dodo tasted rubbish. Everybody said,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
eat
well,
one of
we
them
don't know
again.
that.
Back
We
to
don't
the
know that.
dodo.
We don't know that. Well,
No,
there's no
I
evidence.
have read it. I've read that they don't taste very nice. But it didn't
Why
stop
doesn't it
dying
taste
out.
very nice?
It's
Why
just in the same way that chicken's nicer than duck. You can't all have nice tasting flesh. Pork's alright, but I prefer beef.
Point proven. Good night.
So what I'm saying is, with the dodo, it did taste horrible, but everyone wanted to give it a go. Meanwhile, it's different people trying it, so it died out in the end anyway. So your theory of a frog being poisonous and a fox going, yeah, that's horrible, I won't eat another one of them. Then you get another fox trying one, and another fox. They don't all have a word with each other, do they? They go, I had a rotten frog the other night. So it's pointless. It's a pointless exercise.
What I like is your image of nature. This idea that sort of, in your head, there's Mother Nature sat around like a boardroom table,
Yeah.
making these decisions. People are coming in, oi, frog, what's been going on? Well, I've been poisoning people. Why? What about you? It's just, you just picture everything as one large
Your
reasoned...
confusion is that you still think of evolution as a will. You still believe that things are striving to be something else, as opposed to surviving if they adapt or change. I just want to go through some of the wonderful diversity of nature, some of the incredible feats of the animal kingdom, in a way. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Alligators and old people have something in common. They can hear notes only up to 4,000 vibrations a second.
I don't know what you're meant to do with that information. When's that ever come in handy? When a band's getting together, they don't go, no, we're after crocodiles and old people. What sort of tune do they like? It's pointless.
You're not impressed, okay. Scientists have applied electrodes to the pleasure centre in a rat's brain. The rat pressed a lever 48,000 times over a full day in order to receive that shock that seemed to him pleasurable, choosing the simulator instead of having water or food or sex. So it chose that virtual pleasure, well, not virtual pleasure, it gave it real pleasure, but an artificial stimulus rather than the real thing, like food or water
It
or
never
sex.
ate and had water. It never had a change.
No, it was addicted. It loved this electrode. It was giving it. It just made it feel good. It was getting as much pleasure from that as the real thing, from sex or food.
Yeah, but with any pleasure, you get sick of it, don't you? If you have too much of it.
Well, it had 48,000 hits in a day.
But I like having a Twix. But if I have more than 4 a week, I go, I've ruined that little pleasure I used to like.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, what did it do the second day?
Did it go
but-
near the machine the second day?
No.
There you go then.
No. But what you're saying is this, right? That Twix is failing to give you pleasure on that 5th Twix, but this succeeds every time because it's literally pleasure. It hits the part of the brain that says this is pleasurable.
So,
But
my pleasure nerve that you're talking about in my head, it lights up when I have Twix.
I don't think it ever lights up.
Right.
I don't think you've got a pleasure nerve.
But it lights up when I have a Twix.
Right.
It lights up if there's some chicken, right? It lights
Fuck
up if
me.
there's a,
What a miserable cunt he is.
all loads of things.
Chicken and Twix.
That's it.
No.
That's all he lives for.
No.
Hang
So-
yourself, mate.
So, what you're saying is, if I had that device that the rat's got, I'd just sit there, wouldn't I, hitting it, thinking, I can't be bothered going to the shop for a Twix, I'll just hit this button.
Yeah. Think of this. So aggressive is the horned frog of Argentina that people believe that if the frog bites the lip of the horse will die. Actually, the frog's mouth contains no poison. It earned its fearsome reputation because it attacks animals many times its size. What do you think of a frog
It's
attacking
ridiculous.
a horse?
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why that would happen. Why is it getting upset with a horse? Of all the things for a frog to be, like, getting cocky with, them two should never even meet.
Why?
Because it's not, I mean, fights are normally over something, aren't they?
Yeah.
If you have a fight with someone, you're in my yard, or, you
Yeah.
know, you're fighting over something. A horse
I
and a
love the fact
frog.
that he immediately goes back to the 1930s.
Yeah.
You're in my yard.
But a horse and a frog. How did that disagreement
What are they
happen?
swapping over?
I don't understand what they've got in common. I don't understand it. I bet that's only happened once. It's a rare incident. Someone said put that in a book. I can't imagine it. That's happening a lot. That horses are being bit by frogs all over the shop.